as the reality of fuel subsidy removal continues to bite harder on households and businesses across the country. The federal government, through the National Economic Council, has approved the sum of 5 billion naira for each state and the Federal Capital Territory to enable them to procure food items for distribution to the poor in their respective states. The palliatives are part of measures to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal on poor citizens who are currently struggling to adjust to the new economic realities occasioned by the food deregulation of the downstream sector. While many analysts welcome the development with open arms, others, including the labor unions, have described the initiative as renewed nonsense. Now, let's get more perspective into this development. I'm now being joined live by phone by the former chairman, Lagos State, of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Mr. Agbola. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Okay, quickly, let me start by getting your reaction to the new 5 billion naira palliative initiative recently approved by the federal government has come under serious scrutiny and criticism. First, what is your reaction to this? Do you think that this is the right way to go at this point in time when many Nigerians are crying and calling on the government to do the needful to help them get out of this quagmire that the government has put them into?
Well, I agree with your opinion that we should look at it. How did we find ourselves where we are? We have been selling petrol to ourselves at a subsidized rate, and because of populist instance, for 8 years, the last government did not do the needful, although they legislated on the needful that the subsidy be removed 1st of July 2023, which shows that they were aware of the problem, and massively, even the election, in the build-up to the election, all the main political parties knew that we cannot sustain the subsidy because, one, we are not so much of a significant oil producer in the world. We are just producing about 1.5 million barrels per day, which is what we have been producing since 1971, when our population was 56 million. And today, we are 200 million plus. And we have not helped our production. Population has ballooned, and we are living as if we were in a paradise because all our neighboring countries were paying over $1 per liter for fuel, for petrol. Of course, the other segments of the petroleum products have been deregulated. So the queen is the palliative. The palliative is also one of the things that is not coming as a strange object. In fact, the World Bank has been deeply involved in it, and they actually assisted us in profiling the vulnerables. The palliatives are meant for the vulnerables. The middle class non-variables are supposed to adjust their lifestyle. They are supposed to also, they can have wage increases, that is already happening in the private sector. So the real people the palliative is targeted at are the vulnerables in our society, which is what is done globally. But when you have a policy like this, it has intended and unintended consequences. And those consequences, whether intended or intended, actually affect the lower rung of the population more. We must always remind ourselves that Nigerians' per capita income is just $2,000. And of course, we have over 40% of Nigerians living below $2 per day, which means the poor are many, over 80 million. So, to me, the palliative is necessary, but it's not a solution. It is a palliative, and it is supposed to be something that needs to be continuously done for the vulnerable in our society. The aged who cannot rejoin the labor force, the physically challenged, and the poor generally. And the World Bank was actually involved And what the state government said was that, look, we are not part of this, but I've also investigated from some states. All the states were involved. It was a World Bank project involving the community, where the communities across the 774 local governments, the World Bank sent people made up of state government officials and their own officials to the community to identify the poor, the old people who do not have children taking care of them, the destitutes, and all the rest. So they build this data. And it is this data the state government say, okay, we are new in government. Many of the people in government today were never part of it. So they said, let's drill down on it, let's look at it and verify it. So the federal government gave them time to verify it. So it is right that they are now disposing money to them to now distribute to the vulnerable, not every Nigerian, because every Nigeria, that amount will not serve every Nigeria. We consume petroleum products on everyday basis. And definitely the real adjustment to paying global price or near global price for our use of petroleum products, use of petrol for our vehicles, generators, and all the rest, we have to adjust our lifestyle to it. We have to use the right vehicles, we have to use the right minimize our trips, and I think Nigerians are adjusting. Of course, prices are going to go up because of the twin policy of abolition of multiple exchange rates, and of course, this subsidy removal. And it is nice that we did the two together because the adjustment will be together. And then the volatility it has been created now in the exchange market, in the petrol market, will be able to actually settle down together. I can tell Nigerians some good news who are listening to me. In 1995, we collapsed the exchange rate from 22 to 80 because as a result of the June 12 crisis in 1995, inflation went up and we couldn't adjust the exchange rate because of the populist stance of the government then. But in 1995, the government summoned the courage and did it under the leadership of the Ministry of Finance by Obong Antoniani, who is an Obong now. Inflation rose from 57% to 7%. But a year after, inflation declined to 30%. A year after, it declined to 8.9%. So to me, we need to face this pain so that we can actually, all those leakages can be taken off. We need the palliative for the vulnerables. In fact, the palliative should be in the way some states have done it, whereby every month, certain amount of money are sent to the weak, the weakest of the society, the poorest of the society, through the palliative. So it's a good thing, and it's nice the Labour followed it.